everyone, welcome to Changing Gears. I'm your host, Kat Shoulders. This is a podcast that we talk about things that are sort of watch adjacent, I would say. So things like photography and travel and EDC and gear. Today we're going to be talking about mechanical keyboards. We got to sit down with none other than Miss Betty Van from Switch and Click. If you've ever gone down the rabbit hole of mechanical keyboards, or maybe you've just wondered why people get so obsessed with these little clicky switches and custom builds, then you've probably come across her YouTube channel. Betty has built this super approachable space for people who love gear, whether that's keyboards, desk setups, and now even watches. We kick things off today with the usual wrist check and actually a keyboard check too. And then we got into the story of how Switch and Click got started, what inspired her to actually take the leap, and the moment she realized that this could actually be a thing. We talk about also what it's like building a channel that's gotten so popular, and how she's able to keep her content authentic and accessible really in a space that can feel really intimidating at times. This was such a fun conversation. She is incredibly funny and sweet, and I cannot wait for you guys to listen to it. Be sure to let me know what you think after the show, but let's dive into it. Well, awesome. And thanks, Betty, for joining us today. It's great to meet you. Thanks for coming on the podcast, and super excited to talk to you about gear and keyboards and watches today. But before we officially get started, just quick shout out to the folks joining me today. We've got Blake Mallon joining from the office in Brooklyn. Hey, Blake.
I made it successfully, finally.
Co-founder of Worn and Wound, CEO. And Zach Weiss, also co-founder and Chief Creative Officer of Worn and Wound, is joining us today.
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
My home office.
In your home office, in the Everest Mountains. Yeah.
Yeah. My AI generated background.
Yeah.
My internet there.
Yeah. And Betty Van joining us from where actually are you located, Betty?
I'm in Dallas, Texas, actually.
Oh, awesome.
I've moved around the past couple of years, so I don't think people ever know where I'm at any specific time.
Keep people on their toes. They don't need to know. Well, very cool. We love Dallas. We had our very first Wind Up Watch Fair this year in Dallas, Texas, and it was pretty fun. I had a good time. Yeah, absolutely. I hope we'll go back. Really good people and good barbecue for sure.
Yep.
Want to do a quick wrist, and then we'll do a little gear check too, because I know everyone has a keyboard in front of them. So, Betty, you're our guest today. Let's start with you. What are you wearing on the wrist?
I've got the double. People think I wear two watches, but I don't actually. It's like one of my most I don't know. I get that comment a lot, but this is a Young Hans. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right.
Yeah,
it's the Damen version, the one that's quartz and it's smaller. Even with the quartz, I still have so much space. I need to punch out some more leather holes.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then is that a Whoop?
Yeah, that's a Whoop band.
Yeah, those are super popular.
Recovery and stylish,
No, that's really cool. I've considered getting one of those just because I don't like wearing my Apple Watch and a watch. I feel like a little bit
silly.
Yeah, I know. Both Blake and Zach have double wristed a lot. With
not anymore.
Yeah,
I gave it up. Yeah,
and
not
actually,
because of it being awkward. I honestly, the Apple Watch after a couple of years is I don't need to know how many steps it is to the office again.
Do the same route every day.
Yeah, I wasn't learning anything about myself. So.
Yeah. Quick shout out to a friend of Worn and Wound, Ed Jelly, who has this little new device that he's I guess 3D printed a case that you can put the Apple Watch into and then use it outside of wearing it on your wrist, which I think is cool. And
so it's like a pedometer type of thing, wear it on your belt.
You could put it on your bag. Yeah, wear it on your belt. It's super neat. And so I ordered one. I'm excited to play with it because honestly, I've thrown my Apple Watch in a drawer and I haven't worn it in the last 3 or 4 months. I'm excited to get it out.
Getting away from the full scale phone, right? Because with the cell, you have enough. You could call somebody if you're in an emergency, but then you don't have all the doodads that are distracting, right? So
exactly, yeah.
Cool.
So I was actually looking at what Ed had done because it's just for the Apple Watch Ultra that he's doing.
Oh, okay.
And I'm very jealous because I don't have an Apple Watch
Yeah, I
Ultra. I
don't
have the
either.
plain Jane.
I've got another one too.
Yeah, we're just brokies over here, not
Yeah,
able to get
the
the cool
Ultra's
stuff.
really expensive.
It is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's ultra expensive. But he actually linked, I guess, to another product that already exists, which I'm going to forget the name of, but
Yeah, we can link it.
we could look it up. It will hold the other Apple Watch, but it actually has like the old school iPod scroll wheel on it.
Oh, no
I
way.
did
So you
saw
can
a
like
video on
navigate it.
that. Yeah, it's very
That's cool.
I'm very tempted because I hate my phone, and if I got like a network connected Apple Watch and I could use that as a phone to get rid of my phone, I'd be all in.
You would legit like completely get rid of your phone?
Totally, yeah.
Really?
I've tried many things. I
Have you tried the
investigated getting.
minimalist phones, like the light phone?
I've thought about getting them, but I've heard that like the performance, like it's just a bad
it's pretty
experience. I don't know if
slow.
you ever used them. Yeah. I have a brick
Interesting.
at my house, which is like a little device that lets you brick your phone, basically. But I just always forget to use it. Yeah.
Wow,
So,
that's crazy. I mean, I just wanted it for like the weekends. I can't give up my phone.
I'm not giving up my phone. I already have like a mini one, like the iPhone 13 mini, and I feel like it's all right.
Yeah, it is an addiction. I'm not gonna lie. Like I could get rid of a lot of things, but my phone is just like, oh, it's just really hard.
yeah,
it's a bad habit.
Yeah, I feel that.
Zach, what do you have on the wrist today?
I have on the Habring Joseph or Joseph. I feel like they probably call it because they're Austrian.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a fun watch.
I love that one. Yeah. Very, very cool. And what about you, Blake?
I'm wearing the new Pollen Mara dive watch that they just came out with.
Nice.
And we hosted a launch party with them in the showroom, which was a lot of fun. And I decided to pick up one of the watches, and it's like super wearable. It's really great. Like I got the gray bezel one because I wanted to kind of throw colorful straps on it. It's a lot of fun. But I've been wearing it a lot. Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, those are really fun. I am wearing my Monta Triumph today. This is I would call it like a field watch, I guess, like a dressy field watch from them. Has a lot of like Rolex Explorer vibes, but at a much, much affordable price point. Yeah, it's fun. I was just wearing black and I wanted a black watch today. Well, cool.
Can I actually ask a quick question. Can I interrupt? And
you can raise your hand.
Yeah, raise your hand.
Okay, sorry. I should have raised my hand before. Okay. So Betty, when we were chatting, when I reached out to you to ask if you wanted to welcome you to the watch world, because you had published some videos about getting into watches, which is super cool. And we were chatting and you were talking about getting the Young Hans, and you're sort of in between things. And I felt like there was a little bit of a quartz insecurity.
Oh,
but I assure you, it's
like,
totally
you gotta
great.
buy a mechanical watch, and I'm like, I don't know if that works with my lifestyle. Actually,
yeah. Quartz is cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of snobbery around it, but it's getting better. And I think anybody who actually likes to collect and wear watches knows that it's not like a thing to be ashamed of, or like to not invest in. But how do you like now that you're wearing like a real watch?
Yeah, I love it. I actually went through a small phase of like, I'm going to try some different things. Like I tried out a G-Shock for those rugged, I don't know, gym workouts. And then Traska sent me their Summitier, which it doesn't have the date, which I specifically asked for because I can't keep the date.
Yeah, it's just too much. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So even that, I feel like I'm always winding it. I'm like, it's a lot of maintenance.
It is. But it's fun. It is
fun. I like looking at it.
Yeah.
And sometimes putting it on and then looking at it and then taking it off.
Totally. I totally get that. I'll be honest, like I have a safe full of watches that I've collected over the years, and most days, like it's very easy for me to gravitate towards my quartz watches because they're just going and I don't have to set them and they're just easy to grab. And so even as someone who's a watch collector, I gravitate even towards my quartz pieces a lot of the time. And no snobbery here amongst this group. We all own really cool quartz watches, and there's definitely a use case for them for sure. And it's a beautiful watch that you have too. Very cool. Very
thank you. I do like it. It's like one of the thinnest I've ever seen. So
those are, incredibly thin, incredibly wearable. And I find that like people that maybe aren't into watches, we kind of talked about this, like they gravitate towards young hands a lot. Just the design language. Yeah. I feel like I'm not at the showroom in our store, but I feel like people that I've known over time, even like someone, my husband, he's not a watch collector and he's an engineer. He has a totally different sort of outlook on watches. He likes young hands a lot, and it's just like it's very easy to like watch, very simple, very easy to read,
minimalist, like very like you can match it with anything. I can wear it with my athleisure. I don't know if that's allowed, but I do that.
Yeah,
and I can wear it in the office where I also wear athleisure. It's my
the first watch I got my girlfriend was a Young Hands Max Bill with like a lavender dial, which I don't know if they still make, and then. She managed to crack the crystal on that, which I had replaced because she was working in a lab at the time. Then I gave her a G-Shock. It's like, you can't screw this up.
Can't mess up a G-Shock.
Yeah, no, and she hasn't. But she also then wears another Young Hands that I got, that like limited edition, all blacked out one, which is they're just nice. Like really easy. They're just so well designed. The graphic kind of speaks for itself, and there's not a lot of fussy watch stuff in the way.
Very, very Bauhaus. Well, since Betty's with us on the podcast today, and we're going to be talking about keyboards for sure, I'm curious what Betty, like, what are you typing on today?
That's funny because I'm just on my MacBook Air.
Like, I don't have one.
At my desk, I use like a silent keyboard because my husband gets distracted so easily if I'm just typing away, and he'll be like, "What are you doing?"
Oh gosh.
So I use a silent keyboard now.
Yeah.
And so does he, because we don't want to distract each other. As we build out the office and get some walls up between all of us.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at. But MacBook
That's awesome.
keyboards, not bad.
No, they're not bad. I've gotten out of using mine because like I connect to like a monitor now. So like I have the docking station. So like it's kind of off to the side. And I've used like the Apple MacBook keyboard for years. And I just got, because of Blake and Zach's like impressions on me, like a mechanical keyboard for the first time.
Is that a Newfie?
This is the Newfie. Yeah,
this is
yeah, that's what it is, and it's wildly different. I'll say it took me about a week and a half. I just kept missing keys, like I couldn't type. I've gotten used to it now, but I was like, is something wrong with me? Like, but I just got so used to that like really flat, like minimalist
you're, like,
Apple keyboard.
Pressing, and you have to press a little farther.
Yeah, so I'm like strengthening my fingers.
Strong fingers.
Yeah, but mine's quite the opposite of yours. It is extremely loud. I went with like the Blue 2.0 switches,
the clickies.
Ooh.
Oh my gosh, they're so clicky.
Did you know so loud. What you were getting yourself into when you clicked that one? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I watched
clicky.
Yeah, I watched, some of your videos. I watch other videos on YouTube of just like going through different keyboards. And I knew I wanted to go down like the clicky route because
you're one of those.
Yeah.
It's a very small subset of people that actually gravitate towards the clickies.
Oh, I will say, like, I wouldn't, if I was in the office with everyone, I wouldn't have this keyboard. But I'm home alone and I work from home. So like I'm not, besides my dogs, which don't care, and they're also downstairs, like they can't hear me. But it is quite loud. Like when I first got it, I was like looking around like, oh my gosh, this is so loud and obnoxious. But it's so much fun.
What is the psychology here? Is it like, are you typing on your clickies and you're like, yes, yeah, click. Yeah, I hear it.
Okay, I'll be honest. I put myself in this like personal headspace of like, I'm like writing on a typewriter. Like that's what I feel like when I'm using it. And it feels very old school. And I just like imagine I'm just like, everything feels important. Honestly, everything I'm typing feels so important.
Like, pure head wave.
Yeah, exactly. Like I've really come to like it. But Blake and Zach, you've been using mechanical keyboards like much longer than I have. Like, what have you gravitated towards?
Like, you go first because you were way into this a lot longer than I am.
Yeah, and not like that into it, like compared to. I feel like this is it's so funny. We're doing the thing that everyone does to us when they talk to us about watches, where it's like you have to like justify that you don't know enough and all this kind of stuff.
Don't come at me.
Yeah, I think that I've sort of settled on Thaki, but not like creamy Thaki sounds.
Okay.
Kat, are you just like, I don't know what the heck you're talking
I'm
about,
learning
man?
though. No, some of these keywords are hitting.
Like creamy. What? This isn't peanut butter.
I like. I should get one that's peanut butter colored. But yeah, I like the sound. I like to hear the sound, and it's sort of like relaxing to a certain extent when it's that sort of like smooth sound.
Yeah.
But Zach and I share an office, and I certainly never asked him if he gave too much of a care about my keyboard, and he hasn't asked me, so we just kind of go for it. So maybe we're driving each other crazy, but no, I'm good with that. I don't mind the clicky clacks coming from.
Yeah, it never bothered me. I also listen to music like 90%
I was gonna say you guys have headphones on a lot of times anyway.
Yeah. It never bothered me. But I had a clicky board, and I was like, I'm not gonna bring this to the office. It really is obnoxious. I had no idea what I was getting into. But then I wanted to like show it to Blake and whatever, because it's a cool board. The case is by Hebe, who like I didn't even know when I got it. It's owned by somebody in the watch industry. Shout out Andy Green.
Oh, that is very cool.
So it's a cool board. And I was like, this is terrible. But then I started typing, and it's like just so nice to type on. Blake didn't complain, and nobody in the office complained, maybe because we're the bosses, but hey.
Yes, true.
It works out.
Yeah.
No one's going to say, excuse me, boss, you're typing too loud.
Yeah.
Please quiet it down.
Close your door slowly. Go ahead, Blake.
I was just going to say, we never said what keyboards we're using.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm using a
hold
Neo 65.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
Very cool.
A keyboard I made. Don't know if it's nice, but it's my like heaviest keyboard, which I like using. It's very sturdy.
I think it is a nice keyboard.
What about you?
Those are really popular.
So I've actually switched my keyboard once today. Hold on, I got unplugged. But yeah, it's the Mode Tempo.
Ooh,
very cool.
HHKB layout.
Yeah, which I've been trying. I feel like I've been slowly getting more into what had like less keys. And this is like, I think, a perfect sort of fit for me, because I don't actually need those control keys at the side. And once you kind of get used to like using function keys a little bit for like arrows and things like that, it my brain has wrapped around it. It's very fast. But then I last week, and I built a board that's a 40.
Oh, I was just about to ask. I'm like, are you going to go to 40 soon? Try it out.
I did this thing.
Oh my gosh.
Thing. It's like a 40, but it's like a big 40.
And it has a number pad, which I thought was cool. But I'm constantly screwing up with it because it's very confusing. I don't remember because I have to program in a lot of the other keys I use constantly as function keys. So they're like, where are they?
That's crazy. That's so fun though. That looks awesome. I think so. Like from my perspective as like probably the most newbie in this group here. I think there's like a lot of different ways people can get into mechanical keyboards. And I'm interested, Betty, to kind of hear your take. But I feel like you kind of come into it from a mechanical, like tactile perspective, or you can come in it from like an audible, like you just like how it sounds. And then also like weight and feel, because like I've held some of the, the guys' keyboards and they're so heavy. It's like there's all these different kind of avenues, I guess, to get into mechanical keyboards. So I'm interested like how you got started in the space and ultimately like what led to starting the YouTube channel.
Well, in my college days, I wanted to get really buff. And I figured, why not start lifting weights with my keyboard all day at the office? No, I'm kidding. I was a gamer. I was actually streaming games back in the day, like in my old college days. I was like, I'm going to make it online, like somehow. And streaming was all the rage back then. So I'm like, oh, I'm over here streaming Overwatch and Call of Duty and stuff. And someone was like, your keyboard's too loud because your mic's right next to it and you're just like banging.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, let me find a solution. I was using one of those razor clicky, like Black Widow, 2012 edition or something like that. It was really loud. So I did some research and I found this one that was like hot swappable, full aluminum keyboard, like 65%, blah, 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 by Drop, which no one likes this keyboard anymore now. But back in the day, it was like the nice go-to. And it was about $200. I did not tell my boyfriend, who's my husband now at the time, how much I spent on this thing. I just waited for it to show up and unboxed it casually. I was like, yep, this is my new keyboard now. And I really enjoyed it. It was hot swappable, so I got to try out a bunch of different switches. And I feel like at the time that was really new. This was like 5 years ago. And that was like day one of getting into keyboards.
Yeah.
But how we got into the business side of things is this is really, I don't think anybody knows about this, but we were actually trying to quit our jobs like somehow. It started with programming. Like I spent 3 months learning how to program. I spent a couple months learning how to forex trade, like foreign exchange currency trade,
Oh,
like
wow.
US
Yeah.
dollars and stuff. I
Interesting.
never got to trade real money because I lost all my fake money over and over and over again. I was like, I'm just not meant for this. And then we found out about this thing called blogging. And we were like, okay, what are we going to blog over? So I was talking about my keyboard because there's this diehard group of keyboard like people on Reddit. And we looked at the Reddit numbers and it was growing so fast. And I was like, I'm one of these people. I can talk about this thing.
Mm-hmm.
So we're like, let's do the keyboard thing. And that just like went somewhere I didn't think it would go. Like we started with one blog and then we moved to YouTube. And now 5 years later, we're like in general tech. So it's sort of a crazy journey, in my opinion.
No, I feel like there's like a lot of crossover between sort of how you got started. I feel like a lot of people in the watch industry sort of have a similar trajectory. Really? Like they just like started out because including myself, like I liked watches and like started a podcast and then led to the next thing and led to the next thing. And like, I don't think anyone, at least all of us that are here, thought I want to grow up and be in the watch industry.
Yeah,
like
I don't
that just
think we
didn't
plan on any of these things happening.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's really cool. I'm interested to like, when did you know that like the YouTube channel was going to be like a thing? Did you reach a certain point? Was it like a first year in, or was it just like when you had that tremendous amount of growth and you're like, all right, I guess I'm a YouTuber now.
I think my husband would say, I knew it before we even got started. But I think it was about 7 months in.
Yeah.
Well, the first time was when we saw our first amount of like internet money. I think it was like $2.13 of affiliate commission from Amazon. And I was like, what? You can make money from the internet? What? That was like, okay, so I can make $2 if I work this hard. So if I wanted to make like a monthly income of like 3,000, I would have to multiply that hard work by blah, 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 and I would get there. Like mathematically, it just made sense.
Yeah.
But that didn't really happen until like 7 months later, where we hit the monthly income of like 3,000. Like to me at the time, without kids, without a house, mortgage, or anything, that was like, whoa, this can pay for the rent and the groceries. And I was like, this is it. And after that, after that, it just went up. And I was like, I think we can do it. We can quit our jobs.
Yeah. And like, I imagine 5 or 6 years ago, I feel like that's really around the time that like the YouTube space, like it's been around for a long time, but yeah, 5 or 6 years ago is where it really, I think, took off like in the watch space as well. I know like that's when I really got started watching gear reviews and photography channels, and all of like a lot of the people I follow now kind of started around that time. So I feel like that was just like a really good time
I think
to get into the space.
Just got people on their computers and watching more content, and that got people really comfortable like sharing everything online too, because where else are you going to share? Like with real people? No, you got to go through the internet. So we all got really good at using all this internet software to socialize and talk to each other. And now here we are.
Yeah, totally. I imagine there's people, and maybe including yourself, that like to build these keyboards out. I feel like it's a very Lego-esque type thing. I don't know that I'm in it for that reason. Is that something that piques your interest, being able to like change your switches and your keys out a lot?
I would say I really, really love that aspect, like getting something just right to where you want it to be. Right now, I'm going through this Linux journey, and I feel like Linux actually tickles the same itch, scratches the same itch, where you can customize everything to whatever you want. So there's like that part of me where I'm like, I just want the perfect keyboard, and then after that, I'm done. But once you go through the same cycle over and over, you start to realize like there's just nothing you're never done. You're never done. And once you accept that you're never done, then it's like, oh well, I guess I don't know what the meaning of my life is anymore. It's a complicated philosophical problem.
Yeah.
How many keyboards do you have at this point?
I have a lot, but a lot of them are for content. I think on my personal side, I stopped a long time ago. Like right now, I'm just happy with whatever I have. whether it's like a silent keyboard or a creamy keyboard or whatever is on my table. I think I've really come to accept, like, I'm enjoying this right now.
Yeah.
I think it's the same way with the watch, actually. Like, before I bought my first watch, I had this intense desire to just look at watches and browse around watches and browse
Yeah.
Reddit for watches and watch videos. And until I finally got one, I'm like, wow, I think I'm happy.
Oh, wow. What is that like?
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's funny. I watched one of your videos recently where you sort of mentioned like I'm done, like I reached the end of the road with
Mhm.
watches, which is really interesting. One, I'm very curious to see if that sticks because like so many people who like it's such a common refrain in watches. It's like, well, once you get one, you're hooked, and it's like
Mhm.
Yeah.
you're going to go down this rabbit hole collecting. Like, do you feel like this is like a momentary satisfaction, or do you really feel like this could be it and it's the one watch you buy?
That's a good question. I feel like I have so many limitations when it comes to watches. Like, my wrist is so small that a lot of watches just look a little silly, and the straps tend to be too big. So again, there's like, out of all the watches, I get a subset of these that maybe fit me in a normal way. And then out of those, there's the ones that I can afford. And I think there's just not a lot of room to buy more here.
Yeah.
So
Totally
We
get
can
that.
change your mind.
I'm not
Yeah, I was
saying
gonna
I
say.
don't want another watch, but I'm pretty
Yeah.
happy with what I have. I've been wearing
Yeah.
a Garmin watch a lot lately because I've been training for a triathlon, so I like switch between them.
Yeah, that's very cool. I think, yeah, one good thing about the watch industry, I think the last couple of years is they've really gravitated towards smaller watches in general and sort of like the vintage sizing. So you
Mhm.
never know. I think
Yeah,
there's
that's
probably a
true.
lot out there that
Get
might
some
pique your
more like
interest.
33, 34. And
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely. Yeah. I mean, we'd all be happy to find your next watch, I think.
This would be a great like a great series on our channel, is
Yeah.
like getting
really
Betty
finding
to like
small,
want to wear
small
another watch.
watches. I've been wanting like more of a dive kind of thing because that bezel, oh, that
Mhm.
bezel
Yeah.
is
Talk
just
about
so
like the tactile.
satisfying.
Yeah.
And it sounds so good, but dive watches, like, they add so much more diameter, and I'm like, why
Yeah.
can't they make a small one?
This feels like a challenge. I like
Yeah.
there. I feel like now we're all going to just be googling watches.
Yeah, it's
Right.
like, hey, Bridgie, look at
Flood your inbox with watches.
I feel like didn't Citizen do a 34 millimeter?
Yeah,
diver
Citizen's
earlier
got
this year?
one. You also have like the Black Bay 54, which is a good, nice, like little 37 millimeter diver too.
Yeah,
And we can
there's
probably find
options.
some cool
Watch
ones.
out.
find
Yeah.
Yeah, for
something.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I told when you said that when you first bought your very first keyboard and you like hid it from your husband. I've been there with watches. I've definitely like early on like didn't tell him how much I spent on a watch
You're like,
he was
oh,
just, like,
this?
shocked.
Just
Yeah, this thing.
$100.
I mean, to this day, that's kind of what I do. I have so many that come and go, also just because of the nature of our work, that
Mhm.
he just doesn't even ask anymore. And he'll see something new and he just doesn't know. He doesn't know what I have.
That's the best part about doing it professionally, is like it eliminates that question.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you don't really have to explain yourself anymore to your partner.
Yeah, until the withdrawal happens in the bank account.
Yeah.
Zach, how many keyboards do you have? Because I feel like you've
I got
got a
into it
lot
too
over like the
fast.
last.
Yeah, I feel like I wasn't looking for a new hobby. I picked up the Newfie Air 75 because I had this like crappy little Logitech thing that was really meant for travel, but I was using it as my main keyboard, and it just was very unpleasant. It was just, I'd had it for a couple of years. I was like, I want to upgrade. And then like I think CNET or one of the sites, like they were recommending the Newfie as like the number one to go for.
Yeah.
Looked nice. I ordered it with green switches because I like green. I didn't know anything about it. And then like I got it and I immediately was like, oh, I think I got like one of these nerdy keyboards that
Yeah.
people are into.
Oh, no.
And it felt really nice and had RGB and all these
Yeah.
things, you know, and I was like, okay, this is interesting. I'll look into this. And then like Blake was like, I used some of Blake's for a bit. They recommend, you know, so it did cycle pretty quickly. And now like I'm trying not to buy watches because I have a lot of watches, and I'm very satisfied with my watch collection right now too, I should say. And so like I need an outlet, you know, and this has become that for now, but it's already, there's problems already. Like I already have like these things and like boxes all over, and I'm rapidly running into like the Brooklyn storage issue of it all.
Yeah.
So
was that like
I feel
what did you just hold up? Was that like the?
This is a little jar full of keycaps because the keycap boxes, because you buy keycaps.
Yeah.
And then you don't use them all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they're all like you
throw
don't
out
want
the
to
rest.
place them back in like the little flat case. It takes too much time.
Well, that box is like huge. Well, that this thing is a huge box. So I have got like this is problematic. So
I use Ziploc bags, just like push on.
I feel like I've seen those too.
It's real jank. I don't think it's like an appealing way to store things, but it's a way that works.
Yeah.
Okay,
I didn't think about vacuum sealing. That's good.
You said you're satisfied with your watch collection. I went through this phase where I had like a Canva image open, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna buy this dive watch and this daily watch and this like sport one and this. Like, how do you know you're satisfied? Like, what is a complete watch collection?
I mean, there's definitely no right answer to that one. I think people who think like, different for everyone also. Like, sure, it could be, I want a chronograph, I want a dress watch, I want a dive watch. That's it. I got one for every function. And I'm jealous of people who are able to do that. Yeah. For me, it's sort of become like a part, like I've gotten enough very nice watches that I really like that I'm having like trouble wearing them all enough. So now I'm like, well, if I add more, it's just going to take away from these ones that I've already really enjoy and have spent a lot of time like finding and these other things. So that's my version of satisfaction, is like I really like them and I don't want any more distractions from it. Also, I've just spent way too much money, so it's just like I gotta cool it.
What about this idea that I keep seeing, like the go anywhere, do anything watches? I see it everywhere. The GATA.
Yeah,
that's become like the trendy tool watch term, I think, of the day. But I mean, you need a grab and go kind of thing, something you can. I don't know.
Yeah, my hot take. We talked about this, like I think on a podcast not too long ago. But my hot take is just like every watch is a go anywhere, do anything watch, and most watches today are built like pretty well, and bar like maybe going diving or actually swimming with a couple of them, like you can do like everything in your like day to day. I think like my Speedmaster is not super water resistant, but I would wear it in the rain and like it's not gonna like I've been to the factory and they're like, yeah, we test these things to like you can wear it. You can even wear it in the shower. It's not going to do anything. Like don't press the pusher underwater and you're fine. And I think that most watches today are just like overly built and they're good quality. Even like the more affordable ones where just wear them and enjoy them.
So that's technically not do anything, Kat, because you can't push your Speedmaster buttons in the
you can
ocean.
Swim with it.
But how many of these people who like buy these watches to like, I don't know, 300 meters of water resistance, how many people are actually diving?
None.
I probably go in like maybe 5 meters max.
Yeah. I remember like years ago, this is probably 10 years ago, Zach and I were at like a watch meetup. And it was at a Red Bar meetup, which I don't know if you're familiar with like the watch community to that extent, but Red Bar is one of the most original, like one of the oldest sort of watch meetup groups that's been around for a really long time, and they have chapters all over the place. I'm sure they have a chapter. I'm certain. I know they have a chapter in Dallas. But we were at like this meeting and this meetup, and one of the collectors there, who was like a very high end collector, I think he asked you, Zach. He was like, "So I'm going on vacation to the beach, and I need a beater watch that I can beat around at the beach." But his expectation of a beater watch, I think what you ended up suggesting, and I'm not saying that this is a beater watch, but for him, it was like a several $1,000 Oris dive watch that was capable of going to the depths that we're talking about and doing all these kinds of things. So I think that's more likely the use case is like beach going is what a lot of people are doing with their dive watches. But that I'll never forget that story. That was just like the pinnacle of watch access.
Yeah,
it was very funny.
We had a gentleman at an event we just held who had a extremely high end sport, like a independent watch, an F. Journe that is a sports model, but you don't think about like those sports models as actually being used for physical activity. It like sort of seems absurd, but at the same time, they're built for it. And he did, and you could see it on the watch. Like he legitimately wore that watch as a tool watch. And yeah, I mean, that's a very expensive watch. So like,
Yeah.
kudos to people who actually use their watches for their intended purpose. At some point, I realized that my life involves going to the office, petting my cats, and like I have no need for a particularly tough watch. And so, and I think I've honestly moved away from buying like overbuilt tool watches. I have left more dress watches or weird independence like what I'm wearing.
I know that like Zach and I have talked about this a bunch, especially once like we really started getting to see kind of whatever watches we really wanted to, like could get our hands on for the business. Like, I don't know if you feel this way, Kat, and I'm curious, Betty, if you feel this way about keyboards. Like, your appetite to buy really goes down quite a bit, because I feel like so much about buying before, we really had access to a lot of watches was like just scratching that curiosity and seeing what the watch is like. And it's something about the unknown. You can kind of fill those gaps and be like, yeah, that's going to be the perfect watch.
Yeah.
But then once you've seen so many, you're like, none of these are perfect. And, I'm like, I've just lost my appetite for buying things all the time. Like, you're much more selective. Do you feel like you found that with keyboards?
Oh yeah, for sure. I feel like there was a moment where like I could pretty much get any keyboard that I ever would want to get. And I was just like every time before I got one, I would always look forward to it. And like there's this desire just building like, oh, I can't wait to try this one. This one's like gonna be the best one. But then that desire like stops the moment you get it. And you're like, oh, it's just another keyboard and now I have to do work and it's just another video. And eventually I realized like that was just like something about me and not necessarily about the product, where like I have this tendency to think that the grass is always greener on the other side. And that's, I don't know, that's maybe I need to meditate through that and figure that out. My own problem. But yeah, I don't desire keyboards as much anymore.
Yeah.
But I desire other things. Like I still have desires.
Yeah, totally. I'll say that like Zach sent me probably 3 or 4 links when I was going to buy mine, and like places that he'd already purchased from. I was a bit intimidated. Like some of the websites were very hard to understand.
That's
and
how
like
I feel about watches. People are like, go to your authorized dealer. And it's like, I don't have an authorized dealer. What do you mean? Where do I get one of those?
Where do I get one of those? That's great. That's a good soundbite. I feel like it's I mean, honestly, Betty, like channels like yours are really helpful, because some of those websites were just really hard to understand. I didn't even know like what the colors meant and the switches and like the clicky versus the, whatever what did you say? Thump?
The thocky creamy.
Yeah. But there's all these different things, and there's so many different aspects of it. I was like I would say I was very overwhelmed. And then what led me to ultimately buying from Newfie is that like the website was like really easy to read. It was very user friendly, and like kind of like as you picked one out, it was just like, oh, this is step 2, this is step 3. Just like pick these things out. And then now that I kind of know a little bit more about it, I feel more comfortable going into my next one and going into a site that I can really customize. I was very intimidated. I was like, I don't even know where to start. And it took me directly to YouTube.
You start seeing acronyms like, okay, this one's FR4 and this one's a PP plate, and you're like, what does that mean?
There is definitely, like the first like one I built was a mode keyboard, and that like I got you through like watching some YouTube videos, and somebody referred to like compare them to Apple, and I was like, well, that's a place to start, right? I understand what that means. I went to their site; it's really clean and everything. But then once I actually, bought the board, and it was like, okay, now I have to like lubricate stabilizers, and they, their instruction was, before you do anything, plug the board in and test for all the connections. And I was like, oh God, what did I get myself into?
Yeah.
But I got through that first one, which took like 5 hours or something. And now like this last one, I built without even looking up the instructions, because they're kind of all the same at a certain point once, know. But yeah, the initial thing was just, I don't know, spend money and see what happens, kind of, for me at least. Yeah. And I've had to rebuild that one too, because I didn't lubricate the stabilizers well enough. And it was all like
sounds like a lot. It sounds like too much.
But you only have to do it one time to like get the feel of the process to really decide like, oh, is this for me or is this not for me?
Yeah.
And I really like it. It's like a really fun weekend activity to kind of build one,
Yeah. Betty, I'm curious, like, we've been kind of like lamenting how we've sort of seen it all or whatever in our respective hobbies. But like, is there anything in the keyboard space that you're like particularly excited about, or any brands that are like really doing interesting things or trends that are sort of like piquing your interest?
Okay, I really like EvoWorks as a company. I feel like they're making a lot of the more premium stuff more accessible, especially for you, Kat. If you want like a Thoughtky keyboard,
Mhm.
you just go to their website, press something, click Thoughtky, and then add to cart, and like that's
Perfect.
it. They pick the switches out
Yeah.
for you. They pick the keycaps
Mm.
and the plate and stuff, and it comes pre-built, so it's pretty easy.
Oh, awesome.
But the other thing I'm really interested in right now is the split ergo keyboards.
Mm.
As I
Cool.
get older and get more wrist pains as I sit and type for long hours of time. So I'm excited to try those out. I know right now low profile is advancing pretty quickly, I'd say. Like they used to be not so great, and now they sound really good, like a normal mechanical keyboard that's like pre-lubed and the stabilizers are awesome. So I think that space is one to look at right now. But I'm curious to
Mm.
see what's next.
Is low
Mm.
profile, is that like
That's
what I
like what you
imagine?
have.
Okay. Oh, okay. It's not like super
It's
tall.
not a
It's like I
it's not a
imagine. Yeah,
tall.
okay. A
Mhm.
little bit more, I guess, better for your wrists. I guess sitting a
Yeah,
little lower. Yeah.
more portable,
You
a little
mentioned
lighter weight.
Yeah.
you mentioned like accessibility, with that brand that you had mentioned, and
Mhm.
like I'm curious, like there's like a lot in the watch world. There's like a fair amount of gatekeepy kind of, you could call it snobbery to a certain extent, but also, a lot of people, especially like in the vintage space, like they'll throw around reference numbers and things, and it's like if you don't know what they're talking about, you're like, I'm an idiot. I don't know what's going on. Do you feel like is that a similar sort of aspect to the like keyboard world? Is it like can it be kind of hard to get into? Do you think,
I
and is that changing?
I actually think it's easier now than it's ever been. Like maybe 5 years ago, you had to know all the parts and how to put it together and how to like use your little tweezers to test the PCB. But now there's so many ways to get something like super close to being pre-built. Like there's keyboards where you don't even need to put the ribbon cables in anymore. They have this magnetic, it's called a pogo stick, a pogo connector, where you just place
Hmm.
the PCB on the magnet and then it connects it to the batteries instead of you having to tinker with
It's
all this
cool.
stuff. You
Mm.
also don't have to screw open the keyboards anymore. You just press on it and it pops right up. So things are getting a lot easier. All the switches are pre-lubed now. If you don't know what that means, we're not talking about anything dirty. It's just like a keyboard switch presses up and down. There's friction on the side of the switch,
Yeah.
so you lube it and you make it smoother. But everything's pre-lubed
Yeah.
now, so that makes it even easier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think they even sell pre-lube, pre-tuned stabilizers too. So
Mm.
you don't even need to buy your own lube for keyboard purposes.
Yeah, it's funny. I like when I first started getting into keyboards, like I was like, does lubricating the keyboards really matter?
It
Like I
does.
like
It does
and
matter.
then I have not done it myself, but
Mhm.
I got pre-lubed switches,
Mhm.
and it's like
It's night and day.
completely night and
Yeah.
day. Yeah,
Really?
it's crazy. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
It's
Yeah,
Are
oh
there
yeah.
very
are
different.
there certain ones that you're supposed to add it to? Like, is that something that I would add to my keyboard? Is it like for certain types?
I would say those are old school switches that
Okay.
tend to be like being unlubed nowadays is an extra feature that you need to look for. The
Okay.
default is it's pre-lubed.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
that's cool.
switches is really the rabbit hole of all of it. I find
Yeah.
like just going to these sites and there's the materials of the housing, there's the spring force, there's whether it's lubed or not lubed, and then and then you watch videos and like it's taken me. I think I'm finally figuring out what I like, but now I have. Do I go through and redo all the ones I don't like with new keyboard?
Oh, yeah.
But there's still so much more to try. Like I think I really like a more like a higher weight tactile
Ooh.
Yeah.
switch.
Yeah, there's a
But
lot of changes. I guess nowadays you can get copper back plates or these heavier weights that change the sound of the keyboard a little bit more. So there's more
Mm,
things to tinker with, but I do believe that it's more accessible.
yeah.
Mm.
I
Are there
something.
more? Oh, sorry. I was just going to ask, like,
Yeah. Go ahead.
again in our space, like, and this is really where Worn and Wound kind of made its hay, so to speak. Like in the early days, is talking about micro brands, which are like these very small independent brands, and over the last like 15 years, the quality of those have just like gone through the roof as like manufacturing is more accessible, and and so on and so forth. Like, is that the case in keyboards? Do you feel like are more people able to make keyboards now than they maybe used to? Is there more variety?
Uh, hmm. I I feel like as far as brands go, I feel like we had a lot and now we're sort of like coming into a mountain type of shape where there's a few brands that tend to make a lot of the keyboards. Like I know QWERTY Keys, they have their QK lineup, but they have their Neo lineup, their EvoWorks lineup. Like they're making so many keyboards. And then the Uche Studios, another one is they have a bunch of sub brands that they sell out of too. So I feel like as far as brands goes, there's less of them, but they're making more variety of keyboards to pick from.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Something that was really helpful for me the last time I was in the office, you guys had like a little square tester of the switches and like what they feel like. I need to get one of those because I am trying to decide on my next one. Yeah, that is so cool. I feel like I wish that maybe some brands do. They send it to you as like a sample and then you can send it back or something. That would be kind of cool.
That
Just
would
like
be super
test it.
cool. I think there's a store that does that.
Kind of like a Warby Parker-esque, like, here's this, try it, and then, we'll pay for the shipping back. Yeah, I've had some brand, like, I've also ordered like a Aura ring before, and they send you like a test kit with like different sizes. Yeah, and then you can keep it or send it back or whatever, but it just would be kind of nice for like beginners, I think, just to get a feel. I've watched a lot of YouTube videos, but it's really just basing it off of like the auditory experience, not the actual tactile.
Feeling things through a video.
Yeah. Yeah. You're like, how hard are they pressing on that? I can't really tell. I'm curious, Betty. So there's good and bad things about like the watch community. Mostly good, I'll say, as someone who's pretty tied into it. But do you feel like how do you feel about, I guess, the gear community and specifically like the keyboard community? Are they pretty positive overall, or are they kind of ripping each other apart on Reddit? I mean, I feel like there's probably some of that across all different like disciplines, but I'm just kind of curious about the overall community.
I think overall it's very positive. Like
That's good.
I think we've moved past the gatekeeping a lot.
Yeah.
Nowadays with how accessible it is. If you publish a picture of like a regular like Keychron keyboard on Reddit, that would be like, good job, you got your first keyboard. Like that's great.
Yeah.
As long as it's
cool.
mechanical, they're like, yes, do it. I like it.
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah.
What's the quartz of the
What is the quartz? It's a rubber dome. It's a rubber dome keyboard. Like just a normal, like everyday keyboard you see from Logitech or Dell or
Okay, yeah,
HP.
people are like, yeah.
They're like, you're not doing so good. Because I recently made a video about the Logitech keyboards, how they're like the best selling keyboards because teachers use it, doctors' offices, like all these big companies use it.
Yeah.
And it's like they sell millions of dollars of keyboards a month, but everyone's like, oh, but it's a rubber dome.
Yeah, that makes sense. I guess a lot of it factors into price point too. And I don't think I spent too much. I mean, my keyboard was like $120. Like, I feel like my MacBook, like my Apple one, was probably that or more. Yeah,
is not what people perceive as budget in this space. It's more like a middle tier keyboard.
Okay.
Budget is more like 50 to 80, I would say. But even those sound really, really good nowadays too. It's just they miss out on like the software side where it may not be as easy to reprogram as something else could be.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I just wanted to ask, like, in our space, again, just like kind of comparing watches and keyboards, like it's become very popular for outlets like ours to do like limited edition watches with established brands. Like, is that something that's popular in the keyboard space? And have you ever done a limited edition keyboard or a special edition keyboard? Or would you like to?
I have not. I don't even think I've purchased any special edition, or I don't know. It depends on what you define as that, because in the past, like there's these things called group buys where it is a limited edition run of a keyboard where maybe you get like 500 units or 1,000 units. But now I think people are moving towards a different type of purchasing scheme where instead of you pay and then you get your product months and months later, they have like a rolling basis where You pay and you get your thing a month later, but then the next week, a different group opens and they get the thing. So it's a rolling cycle instead of a one time, then you wait a year. That still exists. I think it's a lot less popular with newbies and beginners. I think I don't even engage in it because you buy the thing and then 9 months later you forgot you even bought the thing and then it ships to your door and you're like, well, this experience really sucks. I don't like it.
Yeah. I was surprised to see, just because I didn't know that it really, the kind of stuff existed outside of the watch world, that there were the kind of like small batch manufacturers and it seems like the group orders for the keycaps as well, which like I'd find a set of keycaps and I realized, these were sold out in 2023 or something because it was a group order. I did buy into one group order. I think it's Q2 of next year.
Oh, damn. That's so far.
Them too. Like I've joined in them, but then I move and then I forget to change my address and then I lose everything and it's quite sad.
Yeah. That's a bummer. Zach, with your sort of creative graphic design background, have you thought about doing, has that crossed your mind?
Of
like
course,
making your
I've
own
thought
keyboard?
about it, but like,
yeah. Broad strokes, what would that kind of look like?
Oh, I have no idea what it would look like. But like, I have actually been trying to relearn how to do 3D modeling because I used to do 3D modeling like I'm an industrial designer by trade, but like I just haven't had to do 3D modeling at Worn and Wound very much. So a decade or so has gone by. So I just started learning again, and keyboards are pretty simple shapes. So like they're actually a really good place to start for messing around with some of these programs for just extruding and like, filleting edges and hollowing them out. So I've just been messing around like that. But manufacturing things though is incredibly difficult. And that's, something we've experienced from Worn and Wound. So like anybody who's doing that small batch or whatever, it's like you're going through quite a process to get there to prototype. It's very expensive. I think it'd be a lot of fun to do it, but then it's like, it's like with watches. Do you want to get stuck with 300 keyboards nobody's going to buy? You don't know. But I think that's also part of the group buy, right? It's sort of the Kickstarter thing. It's like, well, if not enough people are going to do it, then it won't go through. But
I think it'd be cool. I'd like to see a Worn and Wound collab someday.
Keycap collection.
All W's. That's all. That's
all the
letters. And ampersands. Just W's.
That would be awesome.
That's awesome. Betty, sorry.
Oh, I have like questions about the YouTube world and building business there,
I love
so I
YouTube.
don't want to like get off.
I love the YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead, Blake. Yeah, dive into it.
Yeah, well, it's interesting because I think Zach and I have mentioned in conversation in the past that like if Worn and Wound was founded, 10 years later than it probably wouldn't have been a blog. It probably would have been a YouTube channel. And it seems so different. Like it seems like such a different experience. Like even from talking to other people with large YouTube channels and our experience, Worn and Wound started as a blog and we were very much like behind the scenes. And then once you sort of put yourself out there, people know who you are and like they, it's great. They develop a connection, but they also develop a connection and it's kind of becomes much more personal. Like, what has it been like growing a YouTube channel? Your channel has over 800,000 subscribers. Like, what's it been like growing that channel and sort of developing some degree of celebrity? Like, what's that like for you?
Gosh, I think I'll touch on the celebrity side first. I would say that there's a very, very large group of people that like me, and then there's a small group of people that are very vocal about how much they dislike me too. But I say that's me, but it's not really me. It's like this cardboard cutout that they perceive as me that has like a certain a voice and hobbies and tone and backstory and whatnot. It's really difficult to show who you are on the internet just through posting videos. So it's also hard to think that like when they're attacking me, that they're also attacking like the person that I am, or at least that's taken a long time to accept. Like in the beginning, it really hurt, like just reading the comments and being like, oh, you think my voice is annoying? No.
Yeah.
But being on YouTube has been quite the journey. We also started as a blog, a concurrent blog as well. And I would say the two have a lot of things in similar, like how the rules might be constantly changing with the Google updates and how the audience starts changing over time. I know people blame the YouTube algorithm, but I think it's really is just people's behavior around like long form content changing. like how they watch short form content now, or they watch podcast clips and things like that. So that does change. But if you follow the audience or the person watching your content, then it becomes a lot easier to say like, oh, this video didn't do well because like I talked about the topic that they didn't care about. Like, of course they didn't watch it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's interesting, like in terms of like the comments and people's like response to you, people on the internet. Like, when we started One Around, we obviously got comments on the blog, and on social media, you get comments, and we often remark that like YouTube has some amazing people on it and some great conversations, but like we found it can have some of the most negative and
Yeah,
like
it's also
hurtful stuff.
the minority, the vocal minority, we like to say.
Mhm.
That a lot of people
Yeah.
that like the content just don't say that they like the content. They watch it, smile, and move on with their lives. But the people that have an opinion, they're over here typing and telling you how they feel
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah,
Totally,
I've
yeah.
definitely had the most hurtful and just like weird jabs I've ever gotten through like the YouTube comment section.
Yeah, it's really out there what
They really
come up with.
yeah. Yeah. Like I was joking last week with someone that like I was called, like my haircut was called like a kindergarten teacher's haircut. I'm like,
I don't even know what that is.
yeah, I don't know what it means, but it doesn't sound great. So
You
it's
could
like
take it as a compliment too.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we have like zero tolerance for it now. I mean, honestly, I sort of maintain the back end of the YouTube channel and like they're gone, deleted forever.
I always had
Yeah, it
zero
was like
tolerance
zero
for
tolerance
that.
for bullying and all that kind of stuff.
I really like. I like having been probably more the face on Worn and Wound on YouTube for longer, at least. Like, I did that hesitantly. I didn't want to put my face on the internet. I never did, and like kind of became, you kind of had to do it. We used to just have videos over our hands, and then everything became so personality driven. So we had to put our faces on there, and then like zero tolerance. If you say something I don't like, you're out of there. That's my opinion.
Betty, do you ever have? You don't have to name names, but do you have a couple of viewers that kind of return and maybe they don't always have something positive to say and they're just like back again. I always find that very strange. It's like they always comment negative things and it's like, why are you watching the channel? But yet they come back every video.
I don't actually pay attention to like who is recurring, but I'm sure there are some people.
Yeah.
And I tell myself all kinds of things like, if they don't like it, then why are they watching it?
Yeah. Yeah.
They must like it. I must be doing something right.
Yeah.
If it's inciting these like extreme emotion out of somebody.
Yeah. So it's hard. It's hard to make YouTube videos
too.
Well, you make it look super easy. And as someone, I think all of us have been in front of the camera many times and like, it's not easy. And sometimes at the end of the day, you don't want to record and then you're forced to, because you got to make the content. I don't think people quite understand sort of the back end work that goes into making videos. And you really do kind of put yourself out there and kind of hope for the best. Just be nicer, people. It's not that hard. Just be nice.
Be human to other humans. But thank you for the compliment.
Yeah, no, your stuff is great.
At this point in my career, I'd say that the filming part I sort of enjoy. Like it feels more automatic to me than it does the other parts of the business. Like scripting is a little bit more difficult to me than like showing up on camera. Like I used to do everything improv, which was a difficult time, but I really got a lot better on camera through doing that. It's like, press record. Okay, let's go. Nowadays, it's all scripted content because we publish more often, and it's recollecting our experiences through like a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks of a product or a Linux experience or Steam Deck or whatever.
Yeah.
So like we have a teleprompter now, and that's taken a while to get used to as well. Just being more natural reading from the teleprompter and being like, oh, I'm a human talking. I'm not just reading off something that I wrote.
Yeah.
Just various phases of our YouTube journey here.
Yeah, for sure.
I have one more like growing a business type question or sort of comment. I was seeing that like you also seemed like you moved into an office or a studio for the first time recently and have been expanding and stuff. That's like, as a business owner and like manager, like my favorite part is like the growing and sort of, it's been the most sort of like gratifying thing is just like growing your team and getting access to more resources and stuff. Like, what's that process been like moving into a studio, and are you loving it? Do you hate it? Or
It's something that we've been very, very hesitant to do. Like, I remember years ago, my husband and I just saying, we really need to get our own office space, because we were working out of our homes. Like, we worked out of our apartment, and then the home we rented, and then the home we bought. And each like home got bigger to accommodate the work side of our business. And we were like, we just really need an office, or how else will we have people to help us? At that point, it was still us doing everything. It's been us doing everything until maybe 3 months ago. So like this, I really like the fact that we've expanded, and it's opened the opportunity for people to come in and help and film B-roll and like set up cameras and do things that I sometimes don't enjoy doing that other people really, really love doing, like filming B-roll.
Totally.
I don't enjoy it anymore. So I'm really glad I can give that to someone who is going to like put more love into all the shots that like our audience is going to appreciate a lot more. As far as business goes, it's mostly my husband who does like the office space getting. I'm more of the sounding board and the I guess like the final decision maker in the matter. He does a lot of so I have a thought. Why don't we do this? And I'm like, yeah, that sounds great.
That's awesome that you guys can work together, though. I can't imagine.
Yeah,
working with my husband. Yeah,
it's been really helpful for our relationship, but it's also caused us like we have to grow a lot because we work together.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Go ahead. Do you have another question, Blake?
No. I was just, I think it's just exciting to see other people's like businesses grow. And I think that, curious to check in with you like 6 months to a year from now. Cause I think when we started growing and, whether it's adding office space or, hiring people, I think at least I underestimated just how much of an impact that has on the business. Like, it's really exponential growth from that point, or at least that's been our experience. Like,
it feels good. I guess I do have a question, since you are a business owner who's like years ahead of me as a business owner. How do you know when you strike like a good hire?
Good question.
I'll close my ears.
I mean, I'm assuming you're all good hires. So
yeah, that's a good question. I mean, I think our approach with the team is that we really try to lead into their expertise, and I think we try to give them a lot of latitude to do the thing that they're like trained to do and that they're passionate about. So I think, for us, like, we really expect people to come in and like kind of make it their own right off the bat. Obviously there are parameters and we give them guidance, but like, even Zach, you're the sort of creative director and you have like very specific visions for the tone and the look of what we're doing. But I think even in that case, like, but we want people to come and sort of take the ball and run with it. So I feel like, at least in my experience, that's one of the things that you can notice right away is if someone's just kind of standing around waiting, being like, hey, you going to tell me what to do? It's like, nope, that's not going to happen.
No, 100%. That is, I feel like that is the difference in the small business. It's like, you can be hired to do the thing you're hired for and just do it and then like leave, or you can bring more to the table and innovate and make the job your own. And I think the people that we've had who stuck around the longest are like, they've really brought more to the table than we gave them, sort of, so to speak. And from a creative perspective, like, there's, I think I know what I don't like more maybe than what I like, kind of a thing. But like, there's always been an aesthetic to the site that we have, I think informed a lot of the watch community's aesthetic in a lot of ways, but maybe that's arrogant. But like, Kat's a way better photographer than I've ever been. So when she like joined, like, she brought her, way of doing things to it. And like, that's great because that was beyond what I could do, I will
say, like, from my perspective, it was pretty, not that it was easy, but it was easier coming on board to a company that had already been around for a while. I mean, you guys were already around for 10 years when I came on. And so like you had your DNA and I could like follow that. And it was like a guide for me, like, oh, I can do what I want to do within these like parameters. And the parameters were pretty large. I imagine like starting like a brand new company, or you're very young, like that's a little harder to do because you don't quite know who you are. But I think, for people that you're bringing onto your team, like if you know the vision and like, where you're heading and like what like the message is, it's easier for people to follow. I think like I was able to grasp onto that really quickly. Because you guys were very clear with like, this is where we're going and this is what we kind of want. And then like do your thing after that.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
so maybe what we need is like a way to just tell people like what we are, because I think we do know where we're headed and our vision, but it's not a very vocal or a very public thing. It's more like just insider conversations late at night while we go on walks or something.
That's something that I think we've totally underestimated, and we've been trying to get a lot better at. It's just informing the team about the plans and what we're doing moving forward. Like, it took, I think, some of the folks on the team being like, hey, you really, like, we want to know. And then actually presenting that and people like responding so well to it. So yeah, in terms of like lessons learned from us, like, I think you might be surprised how much your team would appreciate, like, even just putting pen to paper in like a rough way of like, hey, this is what we want this company to be in 3 years. Whether it's a super concrete plan or a general idea, I think people really appreciate that.
I can see how that could help, because if without that you're just like, we're just a ship in water, where are we going?
Yeah, this is really helpful for sure. I did want to ask before we sort of head out of the podcast today, what are some like beginner keyboard tips for people? Like what do you look for in a keyboard? And for people that are listening, because I imagine there's gonna be a lot of people that like are like me and that don't know anything about mechanical keyboards. Like what are some tips that you can share on buying your first mechanical keyboard?
Okay, I would definitely lean towards the buying a pre-built side instead of going towards more the custom side, where you have to do a lot of the tinkering and the problem solving, and maybe something's broken, you have to like solder it back in. That's a little bit harder.
Oh gosh. Oh,
yeah, I would go pre-built, and I would like set a budget as the first thing, because without that budget, you're probably going to be overspending over time, or you're like, okay, after this one, I need another one just to try it out. And then figuring out like what size you want. I think size is a more important factor than some people think. Because if you want the numpad, then you want full size. If you can get rid of that, like, you do save a lot of mouse space, like moving your mouse around. And it's cheaper too if something's smaller. Most people tend to go towards 75%. So if I could recommend a couple, like if you're super budget, I would go for the Alla F75. It's about $70. It sounds great. The only problem with that, I would say, is like the software isn't the best. So if you want better software, there's this thing called VIA that people really like. Newfie has their own, Keychron has their own that's coming out. So those are all super like easy to use, very intuitive softwares. You don't even have to download them. So I would go with either a Keychron. They have all kinds of sizes, so many, and different switch options. And if you want a premium one out of the gate, that's like maybe at $200 ish, I'd go for the EvoWorks Evo 80. Is like, if I had to use one keyboard, like, I really love that keyboard. It's unfortunate I can't use that keyboard all the time, because it sounds so nice and it's so like bouncy and it's very soft, a very pillowy, like creamy sound to it. That's definitely my favorite.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna just look that one up. That's really nice, actually.
Yeah,
they have a new one, but I like the they have a new one called the Evo 75, but I like the Evo 80 better personally.
Yeah, some of them are on sale right now too.
ASMR about the keyboard space.
Yeah.
Just even the words describe the sounds and all that stuff.
Okay, can I I have an admission actually. So since Googling and like watching videos about keyboards, I have started listening to ASMR videos of people typing in the background of me like working. It's so strange.
It probably makes you more productive too.
I don't know. And it's led me down even more of a rabbit hole of other ASMR triggers. And I've never been someone that like likes that stuff. I'm watching people like build Legos and just like dusting off old boxes. I like listening to this as I work now. And I would have never discovered it had I not like looked up and Googled, keyboard switches and sounds and things like that. So yeah, I'm now like totally into the ASMR world as I'm working throughout the day.
Right.
It's been very,
I've
very
got to
interesting.
try it then.
Some people love it and some people hate it. I don't like the whispering. Like that's something I don't. I like the sounds of people. Yeah,
the whispering is like a weird tingle.
Yeah. But there's other things, and there's this guy, and I think his YouTube is like ASMR made in France or something. He does like storytelling. Like he literally is like dressed up like Indiana Jones and he's like in a ship and he's just like tinkering with things. And it's incredible. And it's like well produced. It looks like a movie and it's all about, it's just crazy. But anyway, that's down the rabbit hole of
I feel like
ASMR.
that would make me fall asleep or something, like listening to just people typing. Like I used to.
It's great. It
not
is.
because
Yeah,
I
it's good to
needed
fall
it,
asleep.
but like I have an app that was like tracking my sleep and then an option to like use the thing. And it was rain on a car.
Yeah.
Like heavy rain on a car. Oh my God. It's just the best sound.
See, I listen to
pass
sounds every
out if I
night.
heard
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. I do listen to rain, like heavy thunderstorm rain on my phone to go to sleep. Well, Betty, it was so great to have you on. I learned a lot today. There's a lot of Googling I think I'm going to be doing after today's episode. Where can people find you at?
Switch and click pretty much everywhere. We're mostly on YouTube though. So
Mostly
if
on
you
YouTube.
comment anywhere else, I probably won't see it.
Heard it here first. Well, thanks again for coming on, Blake and Zach. Thank you guys for joining us today. And if you have any questions, send us an email at info@wornandwound.com and we will see you on the next one.
Thank you so much.